Починаємо офіційну частину. Доброго дня ще раз. І сьогодні ми з вами, ми раді вас вітати на відкритому занятті CIPS Королівського інституту закупівель та постачання. Сьогодні в нас буде 3 частини цієї події. Перша, ми розповімо трохи про Королівський інститут закупівель та постачання, Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. Ми завітаємо з вами на відкрите заняття з Маріною Треповою та Сурією Хабібулліною з управління стейкхолдерами. Ви матимете змогу відчути себе справжніми студентами Британського інституту. Та у вас буде змога задати питання випускниці цієї програми Тетяні Омельченко. Для початку розповім трошки про CIPS. Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, історія Королівського інституту закупівель та постачання почалася більше ніж 85 років тому. Тоді ця установа об'єднала фахівців з закупівель та постачання під єдиним бажанням синхронізувати терміни та поняття у цій сфері. Після Другої світової війни відчувалася проблему у закупівлях та постачання, тому всі фахівці всього світу об'єдналися у асоціацію, яка почала розробляти єдині стандарти, правила та терміни, якими почав розмовляти весь світ. І тому сьогодні CIPS, започаткувавши тоді золотий стандарт закупівлі постачання, CIPS сьогодні є правилом майже для усього світу. Саме золотим стандартом CIPS керуються такі міжнародні організації, як International Monetary Fund, World Bank та інші установи. Саме за цим стандартом проводяться закупівлі майже в усьому світі, а у більшості країн диплом CIPS є одним з обов'язкових для того, щоб почати свою кар'єру у сфері закупівлі та постачання. Але CIPS – це не лише установа, яка синхронізує та оновлює стандарти, слідкує за найновішими стандартами у сфері закупівлі та постачання. CIPS також є навчальним інститутом. І сьогодні ми представляємо саме цю частину Королівського інституту. Також це неймовірна глобальна мережа фахівців. Вступаючи на програми CIPS, ви отримуєте доступ до тисяч і тисяч фахівців в усьому світі. Один з наших студентів, один з наших випускників розповів неймовірний випадок. Він працював головою закупівель одного великого міжнародного банку, представництва в Україні, і мав новий проект з технологією, з якою ще ніхто не стикався. І йому потрібно було розробити нове правило для відділу закупівель. Тож, не маючи відповіді, він задав питання у всесвітній мережі CIPS, на форумі CIPS. І, що найдивніше, дуже швидко отримав відповіді різних людей, також з банківської сфери, з різних куточків світу, які працювали над схожими питаннями та відповіли та допомогли розробити цю систему. Тобто, ви отримуєте доступ до неймовірної мережі. Студенти CIPS знаходяться у всіх країнах світу, як ви бачите зі слайду, і налічують, члени спільноти CIPS налічують більш ніж 2 мільйони фахівців. Сьогодні ми з вами будемо говорити про навчальну частину CIPS, а саме про програму Diploma in Procurement and Supply. CIPS надає 5 різних кроків, 5 рівнів кваліфікації. 2 перші – Certificate і Advanced Certificate, орієнтовані на базовий рівень знань. Рівень Diploma in Procurement and Supply – це найвищий без попередньої освіти у CIPS. І це рівень, за який надається британський диплом, по завершенню якого ви отримуєте британський диплом. 2 наступні рівні – Advanced Diploma та Professional Diploma in Procurement and Supply – допомагають вам самостійно просуватися далі та підвищувати свою кваліфікацію. І найвища відзнака – це CIPS. Тож сьогодні ми з вами поговоримо про програму Diploma in Procurement and Supply, і ви відвідаєте відкрите заняття. Як виглядає ця програма? Вона складається з 8 модулів, які проходять протягом року. 2 модулі, перший і останній, це великі всеохоплюючі модулі, які розповідають про всі частини, охоплюють всі частини закупівлі та постачання. Ви починаєте з всеохоплюючого модулю та наприкінці завершуєте програму оглядом усіх частин. Протягом програми ви проходите ще 6 модулів, які є трошки меншими. Програма розрахована на приблизно 180 годин занять з викладачами та близько від 100 до 200 годин роботи самостійної роботи з матеріалами. Британська установа працює на тому, що м'яч завжди на стороні студента. Ви навчаєтесь, ви читаєте, ви систематизуєте свій досвід і приходите в клас, де ви систематизуєте цей досвід та розглядаєте реальні кейси з викладачем. Програма побудована так, аби синхронізувати, надати вам можливість і навчатися, і працювати, і мати якесь особисте життя. Тому графік виглядає саме так, як зараз ви бачите на слайді. Ви починаєте навчання у вересні 2020 року і проходите всі 8 модулів до липня 2021 року. У липні ви завершуєте останній іспит. Всі навчання за модулями проводять досвідчені, затверджені тьютори, досвідчені викладачі CIPS. Це неймовірні професіонали своєї справи. З Мариною Треповою та Сурією Хабібулліною ви познайомитесь сьогодні особисто. Окрім цього, на нашій програмі викладають такі викладачі, як Володимир Гоїн, який належить до компанії «Василь Кисель та партнери» та веде договори у закупівлі та постачанні міжнародних компаній. Це Інна Мазняк, в якої більше 20 років досвіду у закупівлі та постачанні. Це Валерій Поворотний, це Олексій Зорін. Викладачі разом з вами систематизують британські, європейські, міжнародні знання та допомагають вам побачити, як вони допоможуть вашій компанії розвиватися далі. Кожен модуль завершується іспитом. Іспит проходить у незалежній установі, зазвичай це Британська рада у будь-якій частині світу. Перший та останній модуль, по першому та останньому модулю ви пишете есе. Есе, у якому докладно відповідаєте на питання, які задаються асесором. Інші 6 модулів оцінюються шляхом тесту з відповіддю на вибір. Для усіх найчастіше ми чуємо питання, як мені допоможе програма для особистого розвитку. Перш за все, ви отримуєте стратегічний погляд на систему закупівель та постачання. Звісно, всі наші студенти мають досвід у закупівлях і постачанні. Це зазвичай керівники цих функцій. І саме системна програма допомагає не лише залишатися, знати найновіші стандарти та найновіші розробки та найновіші правила у сфері закупівель та постачання, а й систематизувати їх у єдину систему, яка допоможе вашому бізнесу розвиватися, яка дасть вам розуміння тієї додаваної вартості продукту, на яку ви можете впливати безпосередньо. Звісно, це особистий статус, адже маючи британський диплом з закупівель та постачання, ви вже маєте певні підтвердження ваших знань. Це ці безпосередні економії, яких досягали наші студенти протягом навчання. У нас був неймовірний кейс цієї зими, коли один з наших студентів, який зараз завершує програму, запросив нас до себе, і ми відвідали склад, який був сформований за правилами, які студент вивчив протягом та з урахуванням підходів, які студент вивчив протягом програми. Лише на одній позиції ця компанія завдяки цим новим структурам зекономила близько 8 мільйонів гривень. Ви можете собі уявити, скільки потрібно працювати продажам, аби заробити ці 8 мільйонів. Тож ви впливаєте на додану вартість, на економію ваших організацій в першу чергу, і це дуже важливо в першу чергу для ваших організацій. І, звісно, ви підтверджуєте власні знання. Якщо ви вже хочете до нас доєднатися, то це дуже просто. На екрані ви бачите електронну адресу, на яку вам потрібно надіслати своє CV або резюме, і ми допоможемо вам вступити на британську програму. Тож, підсумовуючи все, про що я сьогодні говорила, ми з вами сьогодні представляємо програму CIPS Королівського інституту закупівель та постачання. Програма називається Diploma in Procurement Supply. Наприкінці цієї після успішного проходження програми ви отримуєте британський диплом. Програма йде протягом року. Ми починаємо у вересні 2020 року, завершуємо у липні 2021, і ми вже чекаємо вас. А сьогодні у вас є неймовірна можливість побути частиною міжнародної інституції. Ми запрошуємо вас до відкритого уроку з Маріною Треповою та Сурією Хабібулліною. Марина та Сурія, дякую вам, що сьогодні приєдналася до вас. І Марина і Сурія є випускницями MBA Единбурзької бізнес-школи, однієї найпоширенішої бізнес-школи у світі. Більш того, і у Марини, і у Сурії дуже великий досвід у закупівлях і у бізнесі. Марина Трепова разом з нами привела CIPS на терени України, за що ми дуже вдячні. Має досвід роботи в багатьох міжнародних компаніях і наразі керує власною компанією IPSM. Сурія Хабібулліна допомогла, здається мені, 50 компаніям, Сурія. Так, ви зараз самі розповісти, вибудувати різні системи для спрямування бізнесу найкращим шляхом. Тож, надаю вам слово. Ще одна хвилинка. Шановні учасники, дуже прошу вас писати питання у чат, і ми будемо відповідати на них протягом презентації. Сурія, Марина, надаю вам слово.
Дякую, Марія.
Надеюсь, меня слышно. Прекрасно. We are really delighted to see you all tonight with our CIPS program. And today we are going to talk about stakeholder management, which is really essential in turbulent time in the market changes. But before we start, let me introduce myself a little more details. In addition to an eminent CIPS materials, theoretical and practical, I bring my practical expertise gained while I work for multinational companies like Gillette, Braun, Procter & Gamble, Eastern Europe, and Japan International. And these practical examples boost learning, understanding, and help delegates to really deeply understand all concepts and turn it into practical algorithms which are applicable in any areas of procurement and their everyday business routine. We do not read presentation during our classes. We have a so-called flipped learning approach, which means that we do pre-work, we practice how to integrate, gain knowledge into real life, and then we do homework. But this is not the homework like at school, because it linked to integrating into the everyday business. I hand over to Marina.
Thank you very much. Very shortly introducing myself. As Maria already mentioned, I'm academic leader of CIPS in Ukraine, and we trying to develop ethical and certified procurement profession in Ukraine, and I really believe in it. So I'm in procurement pretty long time, and also I'm doing consulting as a co-partner and managing partner of IPSM. It's my company, and at the same time we are teaching students at CIPS program in Ukraine. I had various experience in different fields, and it helps me to share with students different cases, which Surya already mentioned, that we do a lot practical exercises, practical. We spent a lot of time in discussing some issues, cases, etc. So if you are going to CIPS, and I believe that we can see some of you as our students in autumn, please plan to have a lot of practice. Please plan have a lot of exercises and a lot of challenges.
Okay, great. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you can't get them across, your ideas won't get you anywhere. These famous words of Leah Coca are really truth, and the biggest single problem of communication with stakeholder is the illusion that it has taken place. In CIPS, we compare the communication with stakeholders with a TV set, which is attacked by thousands of radio waves, but it receives only those radio waves which is tuned on, and others simply not received. And in CIPS, the main radio wave which stakeholder can receive, we call it the underlying interest. So how our offer meets the basic needs, and often these needs are linked to strategy of competitive corporate differentiation, as the way how they do business and how they are developing this business in the future. And procurement function should be driven not by instincts, not by streetwise manipulation or some other practice which we meet in Ukrainian market, but strategic negotiation and management of stakeholder is driven by understanding of the business needs. And from negotiation perspective, stakeholders can be defined as a persons or groups which have an interest or stake in the outcome of the negotiation you are leading or participating in. And we define 3 groups and then carefully work through specific of every groups in our classes. We define internal stakeholders, and they can exercise considerable influence on negotiation process and content. Then we have connected stakeholders, which normally have not too significant impact on negotiation. We talk, of course, not about suppliers. And then 3rd group, external stakeholders. They are quite remote, but sometimes they can influence a lot the way you operate and your procurement process as well. To give some examples, what stakeholders we consider as internal, you can see on the chart: top management, staff team members, technical design functions, sales and marketing, finance. And generally speaking, we see that current negotiation demand cross-functional collaboration between different functions. It's not face-to-face between salespeople or procurement people. It's now it is a cross-functional teamwork. If we talk about connected shareholders, stakeholders, we consider shareholders and customers, all intermediary customers like agents, distributors, retail trade partners, suppliers, and financial institutions. And when we talk about external, commonly we consider government and regulatory bodies, but in some businesses there are pressure groups like Greenpeace, challenging, for example, beverage producers for removing plastic from packaging, or interest group like consumer association, trade unions. Some of these consumer associations are funded by famous people like Bill Gates, like Bloomberg, and they are really powerful, and we need to take them into consideration. And community and society at large. One of the biggest advantage and value-added feature of CIPS education is its holistic approach. Every single course, which you saw before in Masha's presentation on the screen, all they are linked together and use the same instruments, and every course considers these instruments from different perspectives. For example, I show you sourcing cycle, and we consider during commercial negotiations course every single step of sourcing from perspective of what type of negotiation, what group of stakeholders, and what negotiation strategy are most relevant to specific situation. And as an example of business cases, I can show you the difference between Toyota and Honda. This is a real example which we discussed during our brainstorming. Just to remind you why we consider specifically Toyota and Honda. Toyota from one side create very tight kerenici strategic partnership with their suppliers. And every single supplier is responsible for specific part delivered on Kanban or just-in-time basis. In many cases, Toyota delegates to their suppliers research and development budget and research and development responsibility. So we see that it's really close collaboration and procurement to select the partners who can be affiliates in kerenici is one thing. Honda from other side leverage different strategy and prefer dual suppliers which compete against each other on cutting cost without compromising the quality. And as pre-work, it could be some movie, which is also funny, not only useful. And during the session, we then use heroes of these movies as star guest speakers. On the screen now, you can see as an example the episode from Dr. House, when we see how Kadi leverage the stakeholder management and leverage different strategies to negotiate annual contract with insurance company. And this example also is really interesting from perspective to see how competitive strategy and knowing the strategy of your potential partner can influence the outcome of your negotiation. Now you can see the stages of sourcing cycle. We studied in details during our in-class sessions, but simply, for example, the difference between CIPS approach and common Ukraine practice, you can see on the screen that the early involvement of procurement functions starts much earlier before then we create specification. And the early involvement of procurement means internal negotiation with internal stakeholder. When procurement function challenge specification and greatest opportunity for cost reduction is at this design stage. This is a big difference with the current Ukrainian practice. If you can give us an example of approach which already adopted, we will be really thankful for you. So we see then second step, market commodity and option research, including macro buy assessment, develop strategy. And you see that at every stage, we see different stakeholders and see different negotiation strategies and tactics. I will draw your attention to one more specific of CIPS program. It's a great focus on supplier conditioning, which start with pre-procurement, market test, and market engagement. Interesting thing which we stress during our discussions that we not only study potential supplier market, hosting pre-tendering, bidder briefing, meeting with potential suppliers, but also we can change our own strategy. So it's a two-way communication. We can change ourselves. And of course, this approach calls the shift of paradigm. It's a completely different way of procurement function life, but size of the price is really huge because in this approach, procurement function become strategic function, not supportive. And I guess everybody agrees that it could be a very great outcome of your studying with our team in CIPS when we see a lot of examples of the changing of paradigm. And through all these stages, we do the same thing in how we said in flipped learning approach. And now I would like to hand over to Marina. Marina?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. So we're continuing our lesson, which conducted to relationship between stakeholders and how to handle and how to manage it. And this is a very useful and practical matrix which we use during our classes, and it's very applicable because I see cases how it's used in category management, and I showed you results. So it's Mendeley matrix, and we have two dimensions. Yes, horizontally we have level of interest and level of influence, and these two dimensions will help us to understand how to manage different stakeholders, where should be our focus, and how to handle it, and how they can move between different quadrants. And of course, we are moving from low to high, and Surya, I ask you to go further to show these quadrants. Yes, let's start with the low level of interest and low level of influence. And here we have a quadrant where we need to build awareness. So these stakeholders, we need just to keep inform these people through general communication, general channels of communications, and it will be depends on different cases, but here can be and not major stakeholders which just need to inform and don't lose from our focus. The second quadrant, we are moving, yes, to level from of interest from low to high, and these stakeholders we need to inform. So as the level of interest these stakeholders is very high, we need to not only inform them, but consult on the sphere of their interest. We need to deliver them information and get back what is interesting for them, yes, and to move them further, to be more supportive in your activity, so they can move up to high level of influence, yes, and they can be your ambassador or even sponsor of the project. So you need to be very careful with these stakeholders, and potentially they can go up to high level of influence. And the next one, yes, the next one with low level of interest, but high level of influence. What does it mean? The main purpose of this relationship with these stakeholders, we need to engage them in different activities. We need to give them information. We need to have with them one-to-one, face-to-face activities. Yes, and we need to increase the level of their interest, and the purpose is make them our not friend, yes, maybe in some cases friend, but our helper, or maybe our sponsor, our supporter, and to become key players, because they naturally have a high level of influence. They can help us in many activities. We can talk about any procurement projects, especially if you have low level of supporting in the company, and you need to increase influence and key players in your company to be successful, because without support we cannot be successful in any project. And in many cases in procurement, it is very, very high factor of your success story and your final results. And finally, we have stakeholders with high level of interest and high level of influences. This is our key auditory, yes, key focus, because they are key players, and we need to involve them, especially in governments. What does it mean? We don't need to involve them very often, but if something happens, if we feel that we need some power, supportive power, we need to engage them to help to make decision, to help with, for example, supporting new project, and with some different conflict situation, I would say. Yes, it's sometimes it is judging role. The next one. Thank you. This is the path how to build strategy with your stakeholders. Of course, when we are talking about managing something, we need to develop, first of all, identify what we want to do, yes, and identify stakeholder groups. And it is where you should start. Who are your stakeholders? Yes. And then assess these stakeholders according to Mandela matrix: power and influence and level of interest, of course. Yes, here from left side and right side of this slide. And as a result of this exercise, we will have some mapping on these metrics, and we can understand how to build strategy with these stakeholders. For some stakeholders, it will be short way. With some stakeholders, it will be long and not very easy way, but we need to know it, we need to understand it. I don't want to operate with some criteria, friends and enemies. Yes, it's not right way in CIPS, but we always know who can help us and who will create some not problems, but some cases which will not help us and will not giving us progress in what we are going to do or what we are doing. So after making this map, we assess the goals of these stakeholders. During our course negotiation and other courses, we are talking a lot about goals of other participants of this process, yes, of other stakeholders. And if you want to get results which you want and to be successful, you always need to know your goals first of all, and then goals of other stakeholders, yes, and or your opponent. It doesn't matter, but you need to understand it. And in this process, you need to understand it and to fix it in the table, for example, yeah, or on this map. And of course, the final stage, stakeholder planning, you need to build and fix the strategy, how you will negotiate to deliver mutual goal fulfillment. Yes, it is the main focus in the negotiation course in CIPS, how to negotiate mutual goal fulfillment. Because as Surya already said, managing stakeholders, especially with internal stakeholders, you need to do it in a cross-functional relationship. It is one of the key competence which need to be delivered and to be developed in Ukraine, because unfortunately it's very poor, and building strategic and long-term relationship, it is where you need to be focused. And at CIPS, we are teaching you how to do it, we are tutoring, we are helping you how to deliver mutual goals with your internal and other stakeholders, and how to manage all this procurement cycle all together. And Surya, help me please, next slide. Yes, thank you very much. And as we know that when we're doing mapping and building the strategy of relationship with our stakeholders, we are understanding where we are now, and then we are developing the road where we want to be, yes, our desired point, the final point, and we are developing this strategy and fixing on the paper. The next one. And I want to show you examples of one of the page in category management, category strategy, which is started always with stakeholder analysis. So when my clients, when my colleagues develop category strategies, they started with developing strategy, relationship, building relationship with stakeholders. They are mapping them, they're fixing in the table all stakeholders, and as you can see, final description, communication requirements. So you can fix here elements of communication strategy and how you plan to build this relationship with stakeholders. And it is very, very important to do it not only in category strategies, but for example, in your procurement strategy, if it is one of your goal in procurement for procurement function to make more fruitful relationship with some function. For example, yes, it can be one of your goal for 1 or 2 years, and you can use Mandela metrics as well for this purpose. Yes, and the next one, it is also from external materials I found. This is element, again, the first page in the category strategies, which they build metrics of relationship, and here you can see the elements of this strategy: awareness, understanding, support and buy-in, commitment and action, advocacy and ownership. So more detailed strategies how to fix and how to build relationships with different stakeholders. And again, it is work which you should do all together with your procurement team. And if we are talking, for example, about category management, you should do it with your category team, where also included in this team your internal stakeholders and other stakeholders as well. So the next slide, Sriam. Yes, and it's yours.
Thank you, Maria. I simply give an example of practical case which are as a part of our approach, which is easy to understand, easy to remember, and easy to reapply. We call it folded learning. We consider, for example, DHL, which mainly famous for their logistic solutions, but actually they won bidding for many multinational companies because they provide strategic partnership, which is holistic, not only a comprehensive logistics solution, but also providing outsourcing of business process and IT technologies. And also they add to their portfolio, providing outsourcing of marketing services, which is really interesting for big companies where the big bulk of BTL activities like consumer redemption centers, like mystery shoppers, trade engagement programs. So imagine that you are a big company like Pinji, for example, and how instrumental is the supplier who provides new approach to building strategic relationship, and it's a part also for supplier conditioning. So we use a lot of current business examples, and not only theory. It's ready to use and very useful bank of ideas which can come to Ukrainian market soon, so we can be ahead of market, just stealing with pride best practices from abroad. And also, for the end of our presentation before Q&A section, I would like to remember you the results of long-term investigation survey done by Carnegie Institute of Technology together with Forbes. The outcome is really surprising. 85% of your financial success is due to your personality, the ability to communicate, to manage stakeholders, to negotiate, and to lead. And shockingly, but only 15% is due to your technical knowledge. So we invite you to join the network of success and professional approach created and populated by Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. Good luck, and I hand over to my colleagues.
Surya, Marina, thank you greatly for such an exciting presentation. We are really happy that you had a chance to share all your knowledge with us. Dear ladies and gentlemen, right now I would like to introduce you one more important part of our discussion today, the real alumni of the Diploma of Procurement and Supply program, Tетяною Омельченко. Tatiana, please join us. Tatiana is head of is CPO of procurement in Centravis company. Centravis, if I remember it right, is a leading global supplier of high quality solutions and seems to be seamless steel pipes and tubes, right?
Right, that's right. Good evening to everybody.
Tatiana, you have joined the program in 2018 and you have completed the program, successfully received the diploma in 2019. What are the main outcomes of this program for you? What were the main benefits of studying with us?
First of all, I would like to say thanks to Marina and Surya for this lesson. It really, again got me to the special atmosphere of these lessons and helped me to recollect something in my mind, the important topic of stakeholder management, which is really a very important one. So this program is, in my opinion, very useful, and I recommend it to everybody, as to my colleagues in my company or outside our company. As Maria already mentioned, it really helps to systemize your knowledge, because for procurement functions there were in Ukraine not that many possibilities to get a specialist knowledge. All we learn from our own experience, our own cases, from our colleagues' cases, but as I have realized, it is the whole program is getting you the global systematical understanding of how the procurement function should work, and what are the main trends for the moment. And I think that during this program, you grow yourself as professionally and personally. So this is really a big challenge, I would say, but it is really worthy, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. Thank you for such a feedback. I invite everybody to join our discussion. Please ask your questions in the chat. Marina and Surya, if you have questions to Tatiana, you're very welcome to ask them. I would like to continue and ask you, your managing position in the procurement function of the company has led to working with multiple stakeholders, both internal and external. And which approaches in stakeholder management were most beneficial? What did you use in practice, and maybe you can give any example?
Yes, that's true. For me, this topic was one of the main in the whole program, because this area we have never lightening in our normal, ordinary, routine life. So that gave me a possibility to focus on that, because we purchasers always communicate a lot, as externally as internally, and of course sometimes we might have some problems with understanding, with getting right communication with the people who ask us to buy something. And this stakeholders management we applied to the big projects, which capital investments, because they are really complicated. They involve a lot of stakeholders, and this approach help you to focus, to think about that, and to build your strategy in regard of managing stakeholders and choosing the right way of communicating to them, of dealing with them, and going through all the project to the results which you expect, actually. And also we applied this approach not only for complex projects, but for ordinary supplies of materials. We have chosen the right people, the most important one and the less important, but which still have to be informed. So we have improved our communication, and I think that in general our relationship with the stakeholders improved.
Thank you greatly. Thank you. We have questions in the chat. Well, the question is, when can I apply? I guess that's to me. You can apply right now. The deadline for application is 15th August if you intend to join in September. You can also join in February or March, and we can provide for the deadlines for these. How often are the classes? The classes take place every second Saturday in class, and when we have moved to online provision, we have switched to classes every Saturday online. We are quite adaptive, and we can work with both formats at the moment. Thank you very much. Татьяна, к вам вопрос в чате. Татьяна, подскажите, как вы выстраивали работу с поставщиками в компании? I guess this also relates to stakeholders, as suppliers are part of the stakeholders. Татьяна, your mic is off.
Sorry. Yes, it's about managing suppliers, and according to the knowledge which we also got from the CIPS program, the approach which is strongly recommended in order to build relationship with your suppliers is to be collaborative and cooperative with them, and traditional job we do with suppliers, and especially with key suppliers, which are really important. We try to establish like partnership relationship in order not to bargain only on the price, but to seek for mutually beneficial solutions, so that our cooperation would be good not only for us, but also for the supplier. And we are trying not to manipulate suppliers and follow the best practices.
Thank you greatly. By the way, you have recently joined our discussion with other main, with two other representatives of main companies in Ukraine in different areas, and the recording of this discussion is available at our YouTube channel. You can check this online. Tatiana, thank you very much. During that discussion, you shared your knowledge of working with international stakeholders, of how you were overcoming the current challenges of the market, current market challenges, sorry. Okay, I am inviting all our attendees to take part in the discussion. If you have challenges texting, you can switch on your mic and ask by voice. And we have one more question. Who are the stakeholders in procurement? Well, I guess Marina, Marina, please.
Let's answer these questions. As in the beginning, Surya shared 3 types of stakeholders. There are stakeholders, yes, they are all connected to procurement, and the range of these stakeholders very, very, very wide. And as we already mentioned, we use our classes for many practical exercises. And for example, Tatiana always come to classes with questions from your practice and how it works. And we do in classes really real life cases and help our students to bring this knowledge into the practice every day. And stakeholders, they are all with whom we connected, with whom we communicated inside the company and outside the company. And so in different companies, they can be very different, and it's very, very interesting how it works in commercial sector, in public sector, and in third sector. These stakeholders which named the same name can be very, very different, and it's pretty interesting. So it can be simple. It can't be simple answering the question, but just believe that there are a lot of these stakeholders, and we learn very detailed who are they and how to manage relationship with them.
Thank you very much. That was quite an overwhelming answer. Thank you. Дорогие участники, просим задавать вопросы в чате. У нас есть еще пару минут, в течение которых мы можем отвечать на ваши вопросы. Thank you very much, Marina, Surya, and Tatiana. Marina, maybe you have some questions to Tatiana.
To Tatiana, I just want to ask you, how you compare the situation with procurement in the beginning of your studying at CIPS and now? How is it developed? What was improved? Did you implement some innovations? I know that you did a lot, but just share with our participants.
Yes, especially for managing those internal stakeholders, we have implemented a special application which also helped us to systemize all the connected communication, not to have it only by heart, in live communication and not in emails. So we have now the system which is helping us. And you know, actually, when you are studying actually in process and you have each day something new you read about, you hear about, you discuss with all the team about, you can always bring to your procurement team something new, because there are live cases, and you say, oh guys, for this I have just some example for you, there is a new approach, and so on, so on. When I have finished the studies, just the same, I have ideas in my head, I have some knowledge which I can recollect, and I always use those materials which we made during our classes, all these books, and they are always like laying on my table, and I can have the right modules, the right approaches, the right, for example, business case developments. That has helped a lot in the beginning. This is, if I'm not afraid, just one of the first lessons which we learned was business case development, and we really use it now for presenting some projects to our top management team, which are also a key stakeholders for procurement. I would like also, maybe if I have some time, to give some, from my side, some recommendations to the people who would like or thinking about joining this program. So, as I have already said, I fully and strongly recommend this program, but I would like to warn you this, that this is a big challenge, and you should not be too optimistic and not to overestimate your existing experience, because even having 9 years of experience, you have to study very hard. You have to read a lot, and you need to remember a lot of things in order to pass the exams successfully. And it's very important to pass exams for 100% from the first time, because if you do not pass the exam, then it's like a snowball. You need to repeat it and you do not progress. And just to show you as an example, when I was studying, we had last year only 5 modules, not 8 as I have heard right now, but this is the amount of notes that I have made during all this studying process. So it's not that simple. You should be responsible, and you should understand that it really will take a lot of your time. You told that maybe that you will have, of course, time for your job and time for your private life, but believe me, it will not be that much.
Thank you so much. Well, basically, that's what we tell usually during the interview, that you would need to invest a lot of time into studying, and thank you for showing it in practice how much you have studied, and you have successfully received your diploma. And thank you for your advices towards the people, to the people who would like to join us. Thank you very much. We are out of our time. It seems someone tried to switch on the microphone and ask us a question. You are very welcome to. Okay, that was accidental. So we thank you everybody for taking your time this wonderful evening. You have been with us until we are even 5 minutes over the time limit. So we are very thankful for your attention and for your time. If you would like to join, when you would like to join CIPS program, you are very welcome to text us, to call us, to send us an email. We will send you this recording of this event together with all the contact details to the emails with which you have registered to us. You are very welcome to offer us new topics for discussions, and we will be happy to hold open lectures for you for other parts of the modules, other topics of the program. You're also very welcome to join the Procurement Club meetings, which take place regularly, and the discussions we hold together with our partners. Thank you. Have a great evening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, thank you all participants. Thank you, Tanya, for joining us. Wish you all of them good evening, and waiting for you in September for studying and developing procurement in Ukraine. Thank you. Bye.